Welcome to another presentation in the Quantum Human, expanding multidimensional awareness. Today, we're talking with Scalar Energy Master Tom Paladino, who truly is bringing in new science, quantum science. This is scalar light healing by way of the energy of the sun, really source energy. And Nikola Tesla worked with these theories, and Tom is here to carry them forward on our planet. It truly is new Earth technology. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
And thank you for the invitation.
We are going to give you space today to take us inside your laboratory. You're going to tell us what scalar energy is, how it works with someone's photograph.
Okay.
Distance healing at the cream of the crop. So beautiful. Share with us as we get started briefly. I know you've been with us many times, but those who are new, how did you get started in this? How did you pick up the ball where Nikola Tesla left off?
Well, Tesla was my inspiration at a young age. I really, if you will, grasped onto his concepts, even though it was abstract. I said to myself, this man's a genius. His inventions have set us apart. His inventions really gave us the modern day age, whether people realize that or not. It was Tesla, single-handedly, who brought us into this modern day age. So I said to myself, I have to follow up on his work. This can't, if you will, die off with Tesla. So many people like myself continue on with this research that Tesla spearheaded. It was his work initially.
Thank you for being so bold and brave to do that. Some might say, no, I'm too frightened to do that, but you're moving forward. I think our planet right now is ready for this. And so you and others, it's a wave that cannot be stopped. And you've been doing this now for, oh my gosh, would you say a couple of decades?
Yes, at least, yes.
Wow.
It's a lifetime. It's a career. And the reason I say that this is science. Science is complicated. It's quite involved. Every day you learn something new. And you could spend, yes, I've been at this my entire life.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we would like to learn more about scalar light, the new and emerging science. So take us into your laboratory.
Now, what distinguishes my work is I've developed unique instruments. And, I give credit to anybody who's researching. My research is unique on account of the fact that my instruments are unique. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm in my laboratory. I'm going to move the screen. I'm going to show one of the instruments. I'm pointing to the instrument. This is a Tesla instrument. This is a custom-built instrument. And with that, the key is I can access a scalar energy dimension. This is not electricity. I'm not accessing the electromagnetic dimension. So when we're working in a quantum dimension or a plasma dimension or this non-physical dimension of consciousness, we can achieve extraordinary results. Why? Because we're no longer bound to physical reality. I want to make this very clear. Scalar energy is non-physical. It's from the sun and the stars. I work with this non-physical energy, and I am not impeded by time and space. It's consciousness. And with consciousness, you can do anything. So there's no parameters. There's no, if you will, barriers to employing this energy. So that's a quick overview of what I'm doing with my custom-built instruments. Now, I'm going to demonstrate to the audience. It's a very powerful instrument. It's on right now, and I could feel that energy on my back. I'm pointing to a Tesla coil in my lab. That coil, if you will, is magnifying the energy. It's, if you will, taking the scalar wave and magnifying it to the point it's so strong it can illuminate a light bulb if I hold it in my hand. So that's the energy that's coming off that instrument. Now, I mentioned that there's no barrier to this energy. So what do I mean? If I hold up a wooden board in front of the instrument is so strong, the energy is so strong, it will still light up the light bulb that passes through that board. Okay? So that's another indication, scalar energy, nothing can impede the energy.
That is amazing.
Nothing can.
That right there is science, proof positive. That's amazing.
It is. And I appreciate the fact that you realize this isn't its plastic factory packaging. And that likewise will illuminate under the influence of a scalar signal. So nothing can block this energy. It will traverse the universe in a flash, so to speak. So we're working with another type of energy that's not impeded by anything. This is not electricity. Now, as you've mentioned, when I'm working with this energy, it's quite unique, and the application of the energy is quite unique. I don't work with people. I have to underscore that. This is not a biological process. Remember, this is consciousness. It's non-physical. So we're going to speak about the consciousness of the universe and the non-physical aspect of consciousness. And how do we access consciousness? Well, through an instrument that accesses that dimension of consciousness, or what some people might call the 0 point energy field or the plasma field. Now, in practice, when I'm working with these instruments, I work with people through a photograph, because a photograph has information or consciousness attached to it. I hold up my photograph. This photograph has my signature or my consciousness or my force field attached to it. I never work with people. This is the new science where we can work through a bilocated version of a person. So a photograph of a person is their bilocated version. You do not have to come to my laboratory. Now, we're having a discussion through our computer. Obviously, I'm not in Lauren's computer. I share my image through this video call. Well, likewise, you can send me your photograph, your image, and I could share the image in sending time and space. And furthermore, this proves teleportation. If your photograph can be sent to my laboratory, you're teleporting to my laboratory as I am teleporting to this telesummit, to this, if you will, video call. Obviously, I'm still in my laboratory, but I teleport by way of this video call. Well, people can send me their photograph and they can teleport to my laboratory. So that is the working model that I have developed for these instruments. And if you can digest at it and realize this indeed is a new science, this is indeed cutting edge. And what this presents to the world is a new way of looking at reality. This is very real. These are scientific instruments that follow the laws of science. So finally, we can prove the scalar dimension. These are scalar energy instruments that control scalar energy. So this is a scientific approach. I'm not a psychic. This is not auto-suggestion. I am working with engineered instruments that can perform a function and do so repeatedly, time and time again. So it's been proven.
It is remarkable. It really is. It's really fascinating. And the fact that we are bilocating in that way with our photos, yes. Again, distance healing, you're actually proving distance healing as well. Yes. So when we're talking about the quantum human and expanding multidimensional awareness, this is really helping us not only access that realm of scalar consciousness, but it's also assisting us on a multidimensional level.
Yes.
Can you explain your understanding of multidimensionality? You did say a little bit of it with it's other realms. It's the non-physical realm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If we look at electricity and magnetism, the world that we construe as being the world around us, yes, it involves some type of physicality. There has to be some type of physical structure, an electron, a proton, elements, etc. In a scalar energy environment, there's no physical structure. It's pure intelligence. It's pure consciousness. Now, you obviously can't measure consciousness. Consciousness is non-physical. It's an abstract condition, an abstract thought. You cannot measure thought. So what am I getting at? My instrument is really working with that level of thought. Some people call that Christ consciousness or plasma. But this introduces a new concept, well, to many people, a new concept that there is another type of energy, scalar energy, that operates outside of the electromagnetic spectrum that is pure consciousness, intelligence. So what am I saying in a nutshell? I've invented a miniature star, a miniature sun that controls consciousness.
Okay, that is worthy of repeating. You have developed a mini sun. All
Yes.
right, if it's consciousness, we're all part of that same consciousness. We're
Yes.
splinters of it. We're fragments of it, right? We're all one. That's really what that meaning, we are all one, that phrase, what that means. So then our consciousness, when we are interfacing with this, or when people are working with you, sending you their photograph, it's as simple as that. And you are doing treatments for the protograph. We're going to talk about the three different forms of scalar light healing. But what does our consciousness need to do to interface with that consciousness?
Acceptance, agreement. Now, keep in mind, if this is consciousness, it should be considered as a divine character. I do. And if it comes from God, if it comes from source, then it's all good. This only can help you. Now, keep in mind, all of my work is not revolved around human action. It's all energy action. So there's no room for human error. This is one of the things I really like about my work, Lauren. There's no room for human error or human reasoning. This is not me. It's the energy in action. It's the light in action. So all you have to do is agree with the light in action. You don't necessarily have to agree with me, but just accept the light. Light is fundamental. Light follows the fundamental laws of science that are immutable, cannot be changed. And in so doing, why not accept the light, the fundamental laws of science, and allow that to help you, mind, body, and soul?
Yes, all right, so beautiful. And as you're speaking there about light, we know love and light. We've heard on this program that light, love is the core of source, the being of source. Light is the expression of source. So
Yes.
this is really the expression of source. Isn't that beautiful? All right.
Yes.
Now, how can we use this for healing then? How are you using it for healing?
We use this for healing because we can access a person's informational field. And the informational field is above commands, dictates everything else in a person, including the biological field. So to be clear, we never touch the biology of a person. We work at a different level. And the informational realm, the realm of consciousness, far exceeds the realm of physicality. So we're working at a higher level. We're working at the realm of consciousness. Now, here's one technique that works because of the energy. Again, it's not human doing. It's not human action. Once again, if the energy is so strong, it can illuminate a light bulb. When I place your photograph in that instrument, it's illuminating your mind. Now consider this. The identical energy that would illuminate a light bulb will illuminate your mind, your brain waves, and your 7 chakras. So if I hold my photograph towards the instrument, and again, I only work with photographs, I place a person's photograph in the instrument, that's the download, that's the connection of Christ consciousness that they're experiencing. For 1 hour a day, I will work with a person by way of this instrument to impart scalar energy. And again, to feel that effect, that afflatus of light for 1 hour, the upshot is that people feel better. That people say the chakra balancing will help them with addiction or overeating. It will in some way correct what I would consider an addiction or a phobia. Some people say they no longer have a desire for cigarettes, or they no longer have a hankering for alcohol. Well, how did that happen? The energy is corrected. the energy, this divine source corrects that mistake, that phobia, that addiction. So we're getting to, again, to the core of the problem. The core of the problem is some misinformation or poorly construed information. If we can correct our conscious to distinguish between right and wrong, that's going to have a significant impact upon people. And it does. Many people go on to say after a week or so of the chakra balancing that they feel better, that their sleep is enhanced. I am not a sleep therapist. When I first started with this energy, I had no idea what a salubrious effect it would have on a sleep pattern and our rest pattern. Many people say they can finally achieve a full night of sleep with scalar energy. Now, that's one of the favorable consequences of working with this energy. It balances the brain waves, it balances the chakras. And many people now can sleep without interruption. I'll speak for myself. When I sleep straight without any interruption. I have a vivid dream state. So it works for me, it works for other people. Can we explain that? Well, we only can theorize. It's a new science. So apparently the chakra balancing is reprogramming our brain waves. It's very, very promising. Now, keep in mind, I like to work with this energy. It's clean, it's natural, it's from the sun and the stars. There's no chemicals. So there's no negative side effect. There's no human operation here, no human action. There's no chemicals. Now, on account of that, there's nothing to go wrong. There can't be a chemical detox. You can't have inflammation or a pimple. Your photograph cannot experience dizziness. You can't become nauseous, right? So the key to this informational field, it will only correct, scalar energy will only correct without any negative biological consequence.
Wow. Again, that is beautiful. I'm wondering, as we're going to go into each of the three areas that you work with specifically, but I'm just wondering, have any of your clients or yourself interfaced with the medical community on this? We're the living examples of it. And so how is that? What has happened?
You know, it's starting to become accepted by academia. Why? Because they see the results. Once again, to underscore, I cannot measure this energy, it's consciousness. Now, one of the drawbacks, anytime you're performing any type of scientific testing, you want to measure something. You want to be able to show data. Well, consciousness cannot be measured. Now, bear in mind, electricity can be measured, volt, watt, magnetism, gauss. Scalar energy is infinite. There's no basic unit for it. So how do you measure consciousness? Have you ever put consciousness in a bucket? No. So we'll never be able to measure this energy. But we have great results. People from around the world are saying that they feel better. People from around the world are giving testimonies to what we're doing. People are very happy with our testimonies. One of the drawbacks that we have right now is scalar energy cannot be measured. So you have to experience it, the before and after. Now, keep in mind, consciousness is infinite. There's no basic unit for consciousness. So how can you ever measure the God force energy? You can't. So nobody will be able to measure this as an energy, but you'll be able to see the before and after results with this energy. That's okay. We have great testimonies. Right now, we have to rely upon testimonies. And moving forward, I really think the testimonies will tell this story for those who can accept this. Again, as a new science, we have to go slowly, and we have to define our terms, and we have to accept what we can achieve and what we cannot achieve with this energy. So with that said, our website has so many thousands of testimonies from people from all walks of life. Now, to be very clear, when I first started with this energy, I had great success with myself, but I developed this protocol over the years and perfected it. And only after years I sent this to the world. Why? Because I wanted to be sure that the testimonies were there, that this energy was indeed producing some type of salubrious effect, some type of health benefit could be achieved. Well, we're there right now. After publicly administering this energy for the past 15 years, I could say with our thousands of testimonies, we can prove that there is a good before and after effect here. We can prove, at least by way of testimonies, that people feel better. That's the key right now. The testimonies tell the story.
And it helps one experience feeling better is being more true to our sense of who we are, where some of the distortions or the disinformation, misinformation in our informational field comes from our thoughts and programming in this society. So it would only make sense that if we are exposed to scalar energy, which is pure consciousness, that we're going to not only receive health benefits, but we are actually going to be more connected to our higher self, to our soul. Have you had those sorts of experiences witnessed by people?
Yes, and that's probably the most important. That's probably the most important. People feel closer to family, friends. People feel the presence of God. Many people say they're simply happier. Well, that makes sense, because if this chakra balancing, or this, if you will, this afflatus will serve to correct their conscious between right and wrong, will give them greater clarity in their lives, will allow them to push aside a phobia, will give them positive thoughts, will end that cycle of negativity. That really is the most salient effort that I could speak of for this energy, to change the way people think and feel, to improve their self-image, to give them a greater sense of purpose and happiness in life. There's many other things we can do, but that spiritual connection, without distinction, that's the most important.
So beautiful. And your work is really quantum. It is quantum. It's a quantum dimension or a plasma dimension. It's really cool. And to know that it can't be misadministered. It can't be incorrectly administered, because it's pure consciousness. That's so beautiful. So there's 3 scalar light healing ways that you work. One is the pathogenic cleanse. The other is the chakra balancing that you've talked about. And the third is a nutrient program. Can you describe these programs and more about what? So if someone registers for your courses, do we get all of them, or is that a focused sequence that you take us on?
Every day we administer the pathogen cleanse, the chakra, and the nutrient program. Why? Because I want sound health. And these instruments are working 24 hours a day. So my laboratory is constantly in motion, so to speak. Now I'm going to explain first the pathogen cleanse. And keep in mind that when you're working with energy, everything is fundamental. You go straight to the cause. There's no clowning around here with scalar energy. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to hold up my photograph. If I had an indication that I had the norovirus, which is associated with the flu, I would take a photograph of the norovirus and match it up with my photograph. Now, follow my thinking. It's all information. It's not biology. By placing these 2 photographs in the quantum field, there's a sharing of information. The norovirus information is shared with my photograph. If I had the norovirus in my informational field, the instrument would find that signal of norovirus in me and eradicate it. Okay? Or let's say I had the herpes virus and I wanted to eradicate the herpes virus. I work with photographs because a photograph is a source of light. I only work with light. If I place those 2 photographs in the quantum field, there's a signature, there's consciousness, there's a signal to the herpes virus. If I find that signal in me, then we reduce the signal to a state of chaos. So it's not a chemical process. We simply take intelligence and reduce it to chaos. So what's the opposite of intelligence? Chaos, confusion. So if intelligence allows the herpes virus to sustain itself, to live, chaos will destroy it. nullify it, remove it. That's how simple and straightforward. Keep in mind, this is light. There's no intermediary. You don't need a middleman, so to speak. You simply go to the source of the problem, herpes, instruct herpes if I have that signal, find it, and then remove it, eradicate it. This is the easy way to eradicate herpes.
And they said that was incurable.
No.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to show the audience. I have to prove myself, or at least people have to prove it to themselves. I'm going to hold up a PCR test. This was from a person who'd been, if you will, a positive, had herpes for years. And after our sessions, this person sent a PCR test in. And that PCR result is not detected for herpes. After years of being infected, there's no viral load for herpes. Here's another PCR test. After that person submitted their photograph to us, we treated their photograph. This individual said they no longer have any viral load for herpes. They don't have blisters anymore. So I have to offer that to the community, to the world community, and let the world interpret that. Why do these people no longer have a viral load for herpes? Why? Because on my end, I found the herpes virus in their quantum field and I reduced it to a state of chaos energetically through the photograph. It's very promising. What we're coming up against is very promising because this happens repeatedly. People come to us time and time again. We have the herpes virus. Can you help? We treat their photograph. 2 or 3 months down the road, they say they feel better. 3, 4, 5 months down the road, they have a PCR test, and the PCR test is invariably not detected. Now, you can't explain this by Newtonian physics. This is not Newtonian physics. And this is not per se a medical procedure because I only work with information fields. A photograph is an information field. So we need a new way of describing this. It's not Western medicine. It's not Western science. It's not electromagnetic theory. It's a new science. Here's another testimony. We're working with people around the world. This is a clinic in Delhi, India. I'm going to hold up their photograph. This is the Om Prakash HIV clinic in Delhi, India. We've worked with over 5,000 people at this clinic who were HIV positive. After working with these 5,000 people through their photograph, nobody is reporting a viral load. Nobody. Nobody. Here's one of the test results from India after we worked with this person. After being positive, HIV positive for years, this individual sent their PCR test. They have no viral load. And according to this individual, they have no symptoms of HIV anymore. Now, keep in mind, I can't prove this according to Western medicine or Western science. I am not practicing Western science. This is a new science. Mm-hmm. So we have to make that distinction. What many people are familiar with is the physical body and having some type of medical care. I understand. This has nothing to do with the physical body. I never worked with a person in my life. I only work with force fields on a photograph. So we need to explore this new science of working with energy fields, force fields on a photograph.
You know, it's
all cutting edge.
It's the new science of multidimensionality. You are on the multidimensional levels.
Yes.
Really
yes.
remarkable. I mean, are you just so like elated by the results that you're seeing? Because wow, I mean, how you're helping so many people. All right, I get a question from our audience. We all know what we've been through in the past couple of years. And the coronavirus and then any other viruses that may come around. This is really a beautiful process for that. Again, it's giving us our power back.
Yes,
So,
right.
Part of my
I'll
question,
speak.
part of
Go
my
ahead.
question is on the coronavirus, and the other part of the question is on the vaccine. There are some in our community that are not enjoying the vaccine at all, and so does this help with that?
I'll speak from experience. First of all, with the coronavirus.
Okay.
During the pandemic, my family and friends, I was working hundreds, thousands of people. I'll speak from my perspective. None of my family members or friends were gravely ill during the coronavirus because I was working with their photograph during the pandemic. I myself did not experience any symptoms, if you will, of the coronavirus. And I did not mask up unless I had to. I live in Florida and we didn't have strict controls here. Nonetheless, just to speak to that question, by way of experience, hundreds of people that were under my care, nobody went to the hospital during the pandemic. Nobody. Now, it's a new virus, so that's the only experience I have. Now, keep in mind, I have to speak about the experience. Again, nobody has ever duplicated this instrument. Nobody has my experience, okay? My experience in the pandemic was if I was working with a person's photograph on a daily basis, they were never in harm's way. I never experienced that from anybody that I was working with. They were never deathly sick. Okay, next, moving on. The vaccine program. Well, there's many people who took the vaccine, and we have to ask ourselves, what vaccine was it? What were the adjuvants in that vaccine, etc.? I cannot speak yet to a remedy for that because I don't have any experience. But I know many people are very, if you will, cautious about what was administered. You have to look at the ingredients. Let's just boil this down to science. What were the adjuvants and what do those adjuvants do? That's what I would tell the audience. Find out what vaccine you were given, what chemicals were in that vaccine, and do your homework and to see what type of response those chemicals are going to have.
Okay, very good, very good. And spike protein, what about the spike protein? We hear that word coming around. Any experience with that?
Yeah, I have photographs of the spike protein, just as I have photographs of the herpes virus. So I'll be able to look at the spike protein, its signature, and bring it to a state of chaos. If I have a photograph of a microbe or some type of molecular form, this instrument can look for that signal, that signature, and reduce it to a state of chaos.
Okay. All right. Now, some might have a hesitancy if it's a state of chaos. You already said this, but please speak to it again. If it's a state of chaos, what does the body do with it? Eliminate it like that? Or can it go on and do,
Here's a theory. Everything, every if you will, organism is made up of at least carbon. What does organic life have in common? Carbon. So let's say we shatter the genome, or we fragment the genome. What you wind up with are elements. Okay? Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, or proteins. So what are the building blocks of me? Well, 99% of the human body is made up of carbon, calcium, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. Okay? And if I were to disassemble, per se, I would be reduced to those elements. Now, I am saying that in theory, this is what many people believe. We call it transmutation. That too has to be proven in many ways. The guiding light, the guiding force of transmutation is scalar energy. But let's say we do transmute, break down one physical form, a microbe, into other thousands of proteins. Well, those proteins are good for you. So in many ways, I think in theory now, I can't prove this, that let's say we have a bacterium and we break that bacterium down into thousands of proteins. Well, the body uses those proteins as nutrients now.
Okay. Beautiful.
See, everything's conserved. if you're at the fundamental level, you're conserving energy, motion, you're conserving mass. So I'm not annihilating matter. I'm not annihilating a physical form. I don't believe that's happening. I'm simply transmuting a physical form into another physical form. Now, that's a theory, but I can't prove that. Now, what lends itself to this is anytime I work with a person and I ask the herpes virus to be reduced to a state of chaos, I never have a chemical reaction, biological reaction. There's never a Herxheimer reaction. There's never toxic shock. There's never flush. There's never nausea. You don't have a pimple. So this is not a biological function. It can't be. There's no biological consequence.
Okay.
So we're at that higher realm in which we're changing the energy state. We're changing the energy signature.
Okay. Get it. I got it.
The energy has changed. The energy has shifted.
Yes. The particles, the pieces.
It's very promising, Lauren, because there's no negative consequence.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. That is, again, that's really remarkable, really fabulous. Okay. So we were talking about the pathogenic cleanse and how you can work. So for people who were to sign up for your service, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But when people sign up for your service, they don't do anything. And you do a scan of a variety, right? It's like it's all encompassing what you do. People don't have to tell you their conditions, or do they?
Right. No, they don't. And I don't want to know their conditions. Why? This is not medical science. I'm not a medical professional. And I want you to retain your honor and your privacy. Don't tell me anything I don't want to know. It's the energy that corrects. I don't diagnose and I don't operate. The energy diagnoses and the energy operates on the quantum field. And furthermore, when we're working with people, we have thousands now of photographs. Why do we have photographs? A photograph is a source of light. Light does not make a mistake. So I'm going to hold up photographs of 15 different viruses. If I wanted to eradicate these viruses from me, I simply place my photograph in the quantum field with those viruses. So I'm placing my photograph in the instrument, and side by side, I'm placing the photographs of the viruses. So what is there? There's a sharing, there's a communication in that quantum field of energy. That's all it takes. Once again, once those two photographs are in the quantum field, they're receiving the download of scalar energy. So it's the presence of scalar energy. There's no moving parts. Nothing is administered except scalar light in a quantum field. Could not be simpler. I know it seems very simple and very straightforward. A lot of people say, isn't there anything more to it? No, you don't need anything. All you need is light as the animating force. This instrument does not have any moving parts. Why? It's the energy that works. All you need is one benefit, the energy itself. The energy does all the work.
A question that I'm hearing from our audience, more of the analytical minds out there, would say, is a virus bad or disconnected from source energy? Is that how the scalar light corrects it and causes chaos in our system? Or is a virus meant to be here along with all of us? Can't we all get along? No.
Let's look at history. Let's look at the Epstein-Barr virus, the herpes virus, the HIV virus. They've always proved to be inimical, to harm our health.
Right.
So what am I getting at? And this is where the testimonies come in. People tell me after I work with them, once again, they no longer have a viral load for herpes. So I only can theorize is that the herpes virus ceases to exist. Now, how did that happen? Well, we transmuted its energetic state to living a viable virus to breaking it apart. I presume that's where we're going with this. I presume eventually science will be able to rectify that. Can I prove that right now through a photograph? No, nobody can. Again, we're too cutting edge. It's a new science in which we only can prove by way of testimonies. People say, according to the testimony, there's no viral load, or there's no presence of the herpes virus. So then we have to ask ourselves why. Why is there no presence or no viral load for herpes? I believe, my theory is it's probably been disassembled or transmuted into another physical form.
An innocuous form that is not
Yes.
harmful to a human and the biological human. Okay, thank you for explaining that.
Yep.
All right, so the pathogen cleanse, that's wonderful that you do that. We're going to talk about the other two, but as we are mentioning this, if someone, you don't want to hear people's diagnoses or anything, but if someone is dealing with a health issue, can their intention while they're going through this service, can they hold that intention and plant that in their field to be received by the scalar light?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
It would make sense.
Yes, my work should prove positive thinking. My work should prove the thinking mind, that thoughts are consciousness. My work should prove that prayer, meditation is effective. Remember, all of my work is non-physical. What's consciousness? Non-physical. What's thought? Non-physical. What's prayer? Non-physical. What's positive thinking? Positive affirmations. Non-physical communication. So I believe the best way to heal is through ourselves. If there's anything I can teach, is the mind and the heart are the healing instruments. The mind produces consciousness. The heart produces consciousness. We all have the ability to heal. What is this instrument? It's, if you will, it's a miniature star. What's our mind? It's a miniature star. It's consciousness. We have that innate ability to heal ourselves.
You are helping us elevate into the purity of our soul. Wow, really, really cool, Tom. Again, your work is so remarkable on our planet. Get ready. There's going to be stories and movies and histories about you and the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's all done for the benefit of humanity. I am a humanitarian. I've spent my life at this. And it's really pertinent, once again, to underscore, I am working with the laws of science. There cannot be any human interpretation or any human reasoning with my work. It either works or it doesn't, is what I'm getting at. And it works. Why does it work? Because the energy performs the function, not me. So what's the point? Well, my work is flawless because I work with energy. My work is mistake-proof. I work with energy.
God, source energy,
Yeah.
mistake-proof perfection,
Yes.
multi-dimensional
Yeah.
perfection. Okay, and it's actually unity consciousness. It's bringing us into the oneness that we are. That's what the scalar energy is. And so if we're exposed to it, then we are in that oneness. It is unity. Unity within ourselves, unity with source, unity with light, unity with love. Really cool. Okay. So the next two healing practices that you offer in your sessions, one was the chakra balance and the nutrient program. Now, the chakra balance is interesting because those are our informational fields with consciousness.
Yeah, you're right. And here's what I've discovered. The chakras have been photographed by way of Kirlian photography. I think you've seen that. And there are 7 chakras aligned. And we see that they spin. Well, scalar energy spins. So what are chakras? They're spinning vortices of scalar energy. And this is why a scalar energy instrument will balance your scalar energy chakras. It only makes sense now. Or when you're out in an electrical field with a great deal of electromagnetic pollution, that serves to imbalance your chakras. So how do I rebalance the chakras every day on a person? 1 hour a day, I put their photograph inside the instrument to balance their chakras. Now, some people feel it. It's palpable to some people. Some people say, I can feel when you're balancing my chakras, I'm happier, or I have a greater sense of ease and comfort. Now, make no mistake, some people say when they're around a cell phone tower, they're very sensitive, that they feel their brain waves adversely affect or their chakras adversely affect, which is electricity that can serve to bring you out of balance. So the electromagnetic field will interrupt your chakras. A scalar energy instrument will rebalance your chakras. Now, why did God make our chakras out of electricity? Because electricity is dirty energy. Why did God make our chakras out of scalar energy? Because that's the perfect energy.
Okay, thank you for your work. So this is actually helping, again, connect us to source light energy, scalar energy, and fortifying us in the world with 5G and EMFs. It's assisting the planet in that way. It's helping us rebalance, reset.
Yeah, that's it. It's helping us to rebalance. So what I achieve with an instrument, some people achieve by prayer or meditation or positive affirmations. All of this gives great credence to the fact that we can control our destiny through our mind. If we want to be happy, we're going to be happy. If we're going to have a productive day, we're going to be productive. Earlier today in my laboratory, I was happy and I was productive. And I thought that way. And the outcome was I had a good, productive, happy day. So if I can do it and everybody else has done it, we can train ourselves through scalar energy to have a happy, productive life.
We're shiny, happy people. Thank you for making shiny, happy people. I'm hearing that song in my head. Okay, shiny, happy people. All right. So then the nutrient program, that's really interesting because now you're feeding the field, the quantum field, with nutrients. Tell us about this portion.
Yeah. Okay, and again, it's always information. We're always downloading information. It's not biological. I'm going to hold up a photograph of B2. Well, this photograph of riboflavin has energy, a signal. And if I place my photograph in the quantum field next to vitamin B2, what happens? The energy of B2 enters into my quantum field. This is how I receive my multivitamins. By the way, I don't take vitamins or protein shakes. I don't need them. Now, I'm not saying that anybody should follow that advice. I'm speaking for myself. Remember, I have 5 or 6 machines operating on me day in, day out. This is how I supplement with these scalar energy vitamins through the photographic force field. So whether it's a vitamin or an antioxidant or amino acid, some people will come to me and they'd like more glutathione. I take the gun and I download it into the person, their quantum field. The photograph of glutathione has consciousness and energy field. My photograph has consciousness and energy field. When the two sources of consciousness communicate, you have an unmistaken connection. You can connect through consciousness.
You know, as you are talking and in this video, even long distance over this video, I'm feeling happier and more balanced. And I'm just wondering, is it because we're immersed in your scalar light laboratory?
I think so. I think so. Even though, per se, your photograph is not in there, the fact that your image on my computer screen is sharing with that quantum field, it's a sharing of quantum energy. And I'm sure because your image, whether it's a photograph of you, Lauren, or your image in a computer, you're experiencing that quantum energy. It broadcasts throughout this laboratory.
Yeah, that's the multidimensionality that
Yes.
it is beyond physical.
Yes.
Beyond multidimensional,
Yes.
non-physical. All right.
Yeah. Here's a term for your audience. People bilocate. Okay? Anybody who sends me their photograph, they bilocate. You could be in San Diego, but sending me your photograph, you're in my laboratory in Florida. If you're in Norway, that's fine. Biologically, you're in Norway, but energetically, you're still in North America in my laboratory because you bilocate, you teleport through your photograph. My predecessor is a man by the name of Hieronymus. Let me digress. Hieronymus worked with the US government. Hieronymus worked with the Apollo 11 astronauts by way of their photograph. During the lunar mission, Hieronymus was able to monitor the 3 astronauts while they were on the moon, and he was able to look at their biorhythms by way of a photograph.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. So incredibly cool. So through your work, we can bilocate. Now it brings to mind why indigenous people never wanted their photographs taken, because a part of them energetically would be in that photograph and they wanted to be intact. So, okay, really cool. So then I don't know why anybody watching this would not want to send you their photograph. And we have something very special. So for a program, it's 30 days that people spend with you. And on this webpage, people can scroll down and see the beautiful packages that you offer. It's for them, it's for them, their family members, their pet. It's for multiple numbers of people and pets, but you're also giving away 15 days at no charge. What a gift. So everyone watching this, go register for the 15 days. The link will be right here on this page. Go register for 15 days free. And then what happens after that? Will they just roll over? They can opt to purchase the next 30 days. How does that work?
We leave it up to people. The reason I offer the 15-day free session, I want to be able to work with millions of people and introduce this to the world. And I want this to be easy, non-threatening, free initially. And that's what I've always aspired to. Allowing people to judge this, allowing people to make the decision. I don't want to make anybody's mind up. People want to be autonomous, and I realize that. So we offer anybody in the world, millions of people could sign up if you wanted to for free. Thereafter, if you think it is a benefit, then register with Lauren and you become a paying client. But that's up to you. We never force.
Beautiful. So check it out, everyone. There is a beautiful gift awaiting you, and we encourage you to check it out and feel into it. And then work with Tom. So then after that, would it be maybe just a one-time 30 days that people work with, or would they come back and just do it whenever they please?
So some people like the program, they stay on it year-round. We even have other programs, I'll mention this quickly, other programs such as natural foods that people really like, in which we take photographs of people and we match it up to photographs of food. And that way people can receive all the phenols and all the flavonoids of food through this program, Natural Foods. So what is my point? Some people like it so much they stay on it month after month. Some people sign up for a year-long program.
Wow. Yes. Okay. Really cool. I really commend you for the work that you do. Tireless effort on your part. And really committed to God, the planet, and it's really remarkable. I'll say one more time. So thank you, Tom. As we say goodbye, is there anything else you'd like to share about the offer and about this technology?
I want to thank you, Lauren. I want to thank your audience. Thanks for your participation today. And realize that this technology should change the social order. This technology, scalar energy, should change the way we live for the better. I look for solutions, people. I'm a researcher looking for results, performance. That's what I'm all about. So think about what this technology means for you and your family, how this will change the world.
Wow. Thank you, Tom Paladino. And so everyone watching, again, please check this out. You know, if it resonates with your heart, even if you feel yourself in front of Tom's laboratory today and you notice a difference, this is for you to check out and try. So thank you. Thank you for being here on this quantum human and assisting us into expanding our multidimensional awareness. This really, truly does assist us in that way. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Namaste. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.